Fighting June 27th, little home cage advantage. PFL San Diego. Liz Carmouche. Liz, how we doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. Better to be talking to you. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
A lot of fans, haven't seen you since 2025, August 2025, coming up on a year. So, what the hell you been up to?
Just training, just waiting to get that phone call, waiting for them to say like, hey, title opportunity coming up. But still getting a great chance to be fighting San Diego.
And training camp, the usual. Coach Chuck, everything the same there.
Exactly. Yeah. It's heading over to Teams MMA in San Diego to kick off the start of the fight camp. And then the majority of it is done at Atlas MMA with Coach Chuck.
Now, just being in San Diego, with the fight being in San Diego, do a lot more of your teammates and supporters come out compared to usual, I assume?
Yeah, a lot more people from friends and family that want to be able to, and also the PFL tickets are super affordable, right? So that
Yes, they
makes
are.
it makes it really beneficial. Whereas in the past, we're like, yeah, you're close enough, we'd love to come fight, but we can't afford those tickets.
But it's
Everybody,
$250. Yeah.
yeah, everybody's like, yeah, we'll be there. So there's going to be tons of family, tons of friends, teammates, you name it. So this is, I think it should be a really packed representation for my fan base coming out there.
So obviously I don't fight. I roll a little bit. I do some regional tournaments. When I have a bigger crowd, it makes me perform way worse. I freak out. I hear my mom yelling, "Jake, get up!" It's horrible. Does that have an effect on you as a fighter, either positive or negative?
To be honest, I do prefer like the smaller crowds. Like COVID was my favorite time to fight.
A lot of
When
fighters say that.
Yeah, and there are some fighters I know that hated it. They refused to fight during that time. They had one fight and it was a horrible experience. Like they feed off the energy.
Hmm.
For me, it's more that like, man, I am already hypercritical of the mistakes I make in a fight. Even if I get a 20-second knockout, I still see the mistakes I've made.
Sure.
So to be there in front of people and knowing that I have some teammates that are like, why would you do that? I'm like, I don't know.
Adrenaline, bro.
Yeah, just stupid moments. I'm not thinking right. So that definitely makes it different. Friends and family who I feel like there's a disconnect when you watch it on TV, but when you're in the crowd, you can hear it. So it's like, oh man, you guys actually heard that land, whether it's positive or negative. It's not something I want them to be there for. So that definitely makes it different. I like having the going away and having the disconnect of doing my own thing, like post fight we have our little routine of trying to find some hole in the wall spot to see what's still open. There's no accountability for people like, hey, I haven't seen you in forever. I'm like, yeah, I'm in a weird headspace right after the fight, man. I haven't seen my wife in months. I just want to go see my wife and my son, hang out with the coaches before we go off and do our own things. And they're going and coaching somebody else again. This is like our last experience together. And that's hard to relate to people that want to have your attention and your affection when they've also missed it.
100% understand. I see that. I don't know. Like I go to Cage Fury events a lot. The fighters after the fights, they're always in the lobby. I always see it. They're like, "Yo, leave
Yeah.
me alone." I'm not trying to be rude, but
Yeah.
come on. But Viviane Araujo, great fight here, high level match. Thoughts on her? Any prior encounters with her?
No, even though we have some run time in similar organizations, I've never crossed her path before, whether in passing or if it is, I don't remember, which doesn't say much. I forget people far too often.
Sure.
Like I've trained with people and then I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. She's like, Liz, we've trained together. I'm like, I'm so sorry. See a lot of faces. So I've never personally have any encounters that I recall. But yeah, she's a top fighter. She's not facing me for no reason. She's facing me because PFL is hoping to build her up to be the next contender.
Yeah.
So she's got a lot there. She's coming to push the tempo, and that's always exciting for me when I have an opponent that isn't looking to just run away or play it safe, but wants to come out there with a huge finish. That means we get to go out there and make a banger for fans to enjoy.
You're getting me excited as a fan, so thank you for that. But stylistically, what kind of fight do you think this is going to be? Any sort of prediction when you close your eyes? Do you see the way this goes down?
I always think that I see something going down and it never goes the way I think it's going to go. That has yet to ever happen where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go out there. I'll make goals that I want to achieve throughout my career and things I want to say, but it's just when the opportunity opens up. I definitely know that she's predominantly a striker. She's not a slasher on the ground, but
Right.
where she really pushes the tempo the most as far as like being a banger and being a finisher is on her feet and striking. So I think that that's where both of us can have a lot of fun showing stuff. I think on the ground, it'd probably be a little bit boring just because she's not looking to like push it hard there and really demonstrate stuff, right? She wants to get back to the feet. So that's where we can make it exciting for the fans to be able to watch.
Doesn't have to be smack talk. I do this every time. This is like my exact wording to every fighter, but it doesn't have to be smack talk. Certainly can. Any message you want me to relay to Viviane?
No, let's just bring it on June 27th. You know, they're tuning in to watch this as the co-main event. So let's show them what they came to see.
Love it. Are you looking for another fight this year if everything goes well, all healthy afterwards?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when we got to that tournament format, it was very similar to what I experienced in the first year of fighting that I thought would be the tempo of my entire fight career. Like I'm going to get 8 or 9 fights a year. And then that wasn't the format. I was getting 1 to 2, and then I'm back to getting 4 fights a year. So it's definitely in a weird place where it's like, yeah, you guys are like, yeah, you haven't fought since August. I'm like, yeah, it's weird for me too. I just got back to being used to fighting regularly. And now I'm in that weird space of when am I going to fight again? I don't know. So I would really love to get another fight for the end of the year. I would really hope that it would be for the belt because if I'm ranked number 2, it only makes sense to go up 1 more. But, you know, at this point in my career, I'm happy to just keep fighting. Get another fight, just keep bringing home money to take care of my family.
I don't need contract details or anything, but is this the last fight on the contract? Do you have more after this?
I'm just going to keep fighting until the wheels fall off.
Yeah. I specifically meant PFL, but is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Just keep going?
Exactly.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because sometimes it confuses me with PFL, just with the drop of the tournament and now. But there's no current flyweight champion, correct?
That is my understanding as well, yeah.
So, okay, tell me if I'm wrong again, because I feel like PFL is really setting up this match, which I'm sure you've been asked about a million times and will be asked about a million more times. But
yeah,
you and Dakota both win your fights. That's the perfect title fight, right?
That's the one that makes sense to me, right? You have number 1, you have number 2. What other matchup makes sense to deem the champion of the weight class other than 1 versus 2? That's the only way it can happen.
What are your thoughts on Dakota overall? Obviously, one of the hottest in the sport right now. So what kind of fight would that be, you think?
I think it'd be a good one. You know, they keep seeming to put her up predominantly against strikers,
Yes.
which when you're a top striker, that's not really as exciting. Like, you know how it's going to go. The better striker most of the time outdoes the lesser striker, right? I want to see somebody that's like myself, that's a well-rounded MMA fighter or a grappler with some decent striking that can test her more on the ground to see where it's going to go. And I don't think we've seen that very much with her. You know, we saw somebody that was good on the ground, but their striking was mediocre and they got pieced up in striking. So, you know, Denise, again, nothing against her. Denise is great, but she's just a striker and doesn't really offer a ground game. So being that we have seen Dakota's grappling at least a little bit tested, I think it's pretty obvious where I see it's going to go. I think that Dakota's going to finish her pretty easily. They're going to be probably another body shot, maybe not, but she's long enough. And if you've ever seen Denise, man, she's a powerhouse and she throws crazy, but she's also like at my chest level. She is tiny. Yeah. And I feel like I'm a shorter person in the division. And then you have Dakota, who's the tallest person in the division. I mean, she can just put her jab on her forehead, hold her there, and Denise is going to be able to hit her. So I think that matchup kind of speaks to where it's going to go. And the one that makes sense, or where you get a chance to test Dakota and see where she's at with things, is to face me, who is evenly in everything. My striking, my grappling, my wrestling, my judo, anti-judo, all of that is all at the same levels. That really gives a test for her to see where she matches up with everything.
Obviously, we have to see how things play out. But if that is what happens during the build-up, guarantee you, journalists, fans are going to ask Dakota, well, how do you handle Liz's wrestling? What do you do with that? And I know she'll say, oh, I welcome it. I'm excited to show my ground game. So what would your response be to that?
Then then go for a shot. Like you want to capitalize on anything. How does my anti-wrestling or my reversal of position, that's where you want to see it. Like if I take you down, all right, cool. But let's see you take a shot. Let's see what that looks like. Or if in my mind, if that's where you feel like the fight needs to go and you welcome it, then let's just go there right away and see how you test and how you fare. And don't run away from striking. Let's keep it right there and see where we can do things.
Just touch gloves and pull guard. What's she going to do?
I would kill myself. I can't do that.
Just freaking Imanari rolling her legs or something. Just catch everyone by surprise. It'd be great.
No.
Liz, the last couple things I want to ask you about, because you are the perfect person to ask about this. Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano. Before I ask the details, what were your thoughts overall on the fight in the event?
It played out exactly how I said it was going to.
Sure.
I mean, I was a big Carano fan when I first got into MMA. And one of the things that everybody knew at that time is she was a striker, but she had no ground game, right? And sure, she had 9 months to a year to prepare. But if you're not preparing an Olympic level for Rousey's grappling, and that's not where you're concentrating your energy on and your main focus, you're not going to catch up. That's an Olympian, and she did it at the highest level in MMA. So you have a lot of catching up. And so I anticipate, especially with Rousey being rusty, that she's going to go to what she felt the most comfortable. Honestly, the biggest surprise of the fight was that she shot for a double leg. I thought for sure she was just going to try and clinch and take her down off a strike. That was the biggest surprise of the whole fight. Everything else was the quick finish, the quick armbar is exactly what I anticipated.
Was this like, full circle for you at all in a way to watch, just because didn't you and Ronda had the first women's fight in UFC, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, now that, and then all this time later, she gets her full circle. I don't how was that just being in your shoes? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like it definitely brought closure to the two generations. We were talking about Strikeforce emerging into Bellator and into the UFC. There were always those doubts of, well, how would a matchup look against Carano and Rousey? At least it closed that door. Nobody has to ask that anymore. So at least for those people that were still watching women's MMA then in the early days to what it is now, it, I think, gave us the closure that we were all looking for.
As like a fan who's been watching forever, I agree. I thought that's a great way to describe it. Do you think either of them should or will ever fight again?
I think with the big paydays, really they just came out for a great opportunity and great payday, and they were able to bring appeal to it and have people watching. I mean, I had friends that they know that I do martial arts, but they don't quite know to that level, right? They're like neighbors and stuff who are like, hey, are you watching this? Yeah, they're casuals. And certainly they're like, oh, we're going to watch it because it's on Netflix. And random people that have no idea who I'm running into. And they're like, hey, you look like you're in pretty good shape. Are you going to be watching the Netflix thing? Like, yeah.
Oh, I actually fought one of them, but sure.
Yeah. So I think it was good for that. I think it brought more attention, and hopefully it's going to make better opportunities for women's MMA and bigger paydays for MMA fighters that we weren't receiving before. So if nothing else, it did that. And I'm hoping that it's just going to open up more doors for people.
So, that's MVP. You're obviously PFL. UFC's doing their thing. But now Scott Coker's getting back in the mix. Did you see this? What are your thoughts on that?
That was a huge surprise. In all honesty, like, there are things where they said, like, oh, the Carano fight and Rousey fight, where I was surprised only because I thought it was more speculation and talk. I didn't think it was going to come to fruition. But to see out of nowhere that Scott came back out of the woodworks, I'm like, okay, well, that's crazy. I think there's a lot of people that are invested into what he has done in the past that maybe we're talking in speculations about them coming out of fights, that hopefully come out of retirement, that we can see them have the closure in their career that we were looking for. And one of those people I'm hoping is Alima, because I know that she has a good relationship with Scott. And I would like to see the closure of her exiting the way that she wanted to, and her being able to put the gloves down rather than things just didn't unfold the way she wanted to. And I think there are a few other fighters out there too. And I think that he's going to offer that opportunity. So I hope everything works out with financing, that he does, because there are some fighters I'd like to see be able to close those chapters publicly where we can all tune in to watch for that reason.
And you touched on this a little bit, but my last question really is just with this and MVP and seemingly more competition coming in, is this a good thing overall for MMA?
Yeah, I think so. I think the more eyes that we can get on MMA is the better. The more, for one, I'm hoping more eyes mean more weight classes. Because if there's one thing that's happened over the years, is it's the opposite. It seems as time is going on, we had this big eruption where we introduced all the weight classes because people, not just women, not just men, but all people are different sizes.
Yes. Right?
So to classify and to say 125, that's limiting so many great athletes out there that we're not seeing. Selfishly, I want to fight at 135.
It needs to be more 135ers, or at least they need to be able to be recognized, because there are plenty 135ers.
There are plenty of 135ers, 145ers, and in the past, 145ers meant that they were like the heavyweights. Mm-hmm. They didn't quite have the gas tank. They weren't technically showing off the full capabilities of what MMA could offer, but that's not true anymore. More and more we see as female 145ers, that's not the case. So we're really missing out by not having those weight classes. And I'm hoping by Scott Coker starting to pop up, by MVP popping up, and these other organizations, that means we'll get more weight classes for MMA and more representation of the skills that they have to offer.
opposite end too. There are some wild, talented atomweights out there. I mean,
Oh yeah,
stretch it across the board. More fighters would be good.
yes, agreed.
Well, Liz, I really appreciate your time. Before I get you out of here, anything for the fans ahead of the big fight?
No, just really excited to be back in San Diego. Even though it will hurt my paycheck to be there. It's nice to be
Taxes.
back. Yeah, taxes, exactly. It'll be nice just to be back on home turf. So I'm really looking forward to being able to go out there. And, I got a chance to showcase with Bellator and a cool opportunity now to do that with PFL. And looking forward to seeing everybody there and for the foodie adventure that will ensue after the fight.
Well, I'm calling it a title eliminator. You can, if anyone wants to say, wait, who said that? It was me. Title eliminator, June 27th, PFL San Diego, Liz Carmouche. Thank you so much, and kick some ass, all right?
Thank you.